And welcome back to the Think Tank podcast. I am your host, Randy Hayes. It's so good to be back with you all. Today, I'm excited to bring to you all a very special guest, someone who has been really motivating to me, even as I've been away from you all. This young lady, her name is Jada West. Jada, how are you doing today?
I am doing amazing. I'm excited. It's Friday. The sun is out, y'all. So I'm excited. And I'm excited to have this episode.
Yes, and I'm so glad that you were with us today. So Jada is going to be talking to us about getting unshy. That's an issue that some of y'all don't even know y'all deal with, but we're going to break that down as the day goes on. But Jada, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what it is that you do?
Okay, so hey y'all, I am Jada West. I'm a brand outfitter, stylist, influencer, a lot of different titles, but I am born in St. Louis, Missouri, but I actually moved around a lot. Fun fact about me, I'm a military brat. Okay. So we have lived a bunch of everywhere, whether it's Colorado, Germany, where else did we live? Oklahoma. We lived in Missouri. So we've lived all over, and now we have settled here in Virginia for the past 6 years now. So okay. Yeah, but that's where I'm from originally.
Okay, all right, awesome. So Jada and I, we originally met when I was doing one of these Thrift World events that are held in Fredericksburg. I think there's actually one this weekend.
It is this weekend.
Yeah, there's a Thrift World event coming up. It'll be too late to advertise it by the time this comes out, but yeah, that's how we met. It was actually my first event that I was selling some of my TGBTG apparel at, and she was the vendor that was right next to me. I had my little table set up, and she had like literally a shop where people walk in, and I had all sort of different. But what were some of the things that you had there, Jada?
So at that time I was selling resale. So I was going to the thrift stores because thrifting is one of my all-time favorite things to do. So I was thrifting pieces and reselling them. I was also designing my own pieces because my background's in fashion design.
Yes.
So I had a couple of my own custom pieces there, and along with purses, dresses, women's apparel mostly, jewelry, all sorts of fun things. And so I really wanted it to feel like a boutique.
Yeah.
So we even brought extra tables, and there's a divider that my dad had built. Mm-hmm. And so people could go behind it and try on the clothes. So I really
That's
wanted
right. I do remember that.
Yeah, no, that was intentional. We had spent the last I think maybe 2 weeks prior to Thrift World going, and we went to Habitat for Humanity. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it's not called. Is it the one where they sell the furniture too? Or is it called something else?
I don't know if they sell it, but they do have the plans for putting it together.
It's connected to Habitat for Humanity. It's their donation side. So you could go and you can get resale and thrifted used furniture. So yeah, so we went and we found some shutters, and my dad built it. It was super heavy, but I was so happy because he made my vision come to life. So being able to make it feel like an actual store was really important to me. So it's funny that just that stood out, because that means that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I ended up getting some earrings from her for my daughter, and I was blown away. It was definitely goals. I was like, okay, so this is where I need to get to. See, right now I'm just playing. I got my little 6-foot table, and I got everything on it, and something hanging in the background, but it was definitely a wake-up call. And there were so many vendors that had been doing this for a while. You had been doing this for a few years when I had met you at that time.
Yeah.
Okay. So how have you been into had this entrepreneurial spirit for a long time?
I've had this spirit since honestly, y'all, I feel like I was born with it. I was born with it. And I remember my earliest influences for entrepreneurship was actually my aunt. She owned a hair salon. And she had been an entrepreneur since I was born. And so in my head, it just made sense. You can go and you can work for somebody, or you can go and you can start your own thing. And I just felt like the things that I wanted to do didn't exist within a role. So I was always trying to find some way to do what I wanted to do. Plus, I was a teenager. I wanted to make some money. Like I need to have my own money.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a job. I wasn't old enough to get a job. I didn't have a car either. So it's like there was a bunch of things that were like barriers. So being able to do things like make prom dresses, do people's hair.
You were doing that in high school?
I was doing that in high school. Yeah, I had my first design client in high school. It's like my sophomore year of high school, and I did her prom dress.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people, they kind of romanticize the idea of being like a business owner, but you know, they're afraid to take that jump because, you know, it's like it's all on you. So like, how do you overcome that fear and, you know, really just go for like the vision that you have for yourself?
Oh, day by day. I have like mini crash out sessions multiple times a week.
Okay.
I could never be the person that would be like, it is all sunshine and rainbows. But I do know that there's this passion that I have for it, that it keeps me going even when it gets hard. But some of the things that are practical that help me to stay sane, a big one is journaling. I have to write. It is way too much going on in my head that it just doesn't make sense to try to keep it all in my head. So journaling has helped me to stay encouraged, connecting with other entrepreneurs, whether that is through mentorship, whether that is being a client of theirs, whether that's just getting together in spaces like we're in right now where you can just, you know, get together and do some co-working.
For sure.
Just being able to have that community also helps because then we can talk about the things that happen to us, the problems that we're having, the struggles, and it doesn't feel as weird. Plus, the stronger your network is, the stronger your client base can become, or your revenue, or, you know, sales, because now you're making connection with people. People know what you do, and they can be like, oh, you know, let me refer you to so and so because they do this. So you realize that it really, like, the strength is in the community, but then also the strength comes from knowing yourself and being aware of what's going on.
You know what? I remember when we were talking offline, you had mentioned before how your mentor really like stretched you to like do more, you know. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Oh yeah, my mentor is my big sis, Latara Venice. She's a soul care practitioner. That's how it got introduced. And we actually met in 2020.
Okay.
I was praying for a mentor. And I mean that literally. Like I was quite literally praying for a mentor. I was like, God, I don't know what I'm doing. I need somebody who knows like what I'm going through and what I'm experiencing. And so we got connected. And a few years into our relationship, I joined a program that she had, and there was other coaches that were in that space. And it was like a group coaching situation. And so in it was when I started to make the pivot to styling. So I was starting out with styling at first, and it was just styling. So I'm going to people's closets. I'm helping to put outfits together. Yep. We're getting rid of stuff, like, you know, all of that. Yep. But she was like, you know, you're not supposed to just do content, right? I mean, styling, right? You're supposed to do content too, like something with content. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Because you said at like one point you went viral, and you were, you know, feeling pretty good about that, and you're like, she said, there's another level.
Yes. I was like, what more do you want from me, lady? What more do you want? But the thing that was so funny is her telling me that was a confirmation. Like, it wasn't news to me. I had been feeling it for a while, and I felt like God was telling me, like, you got to do more. There's more to it. Go here, do this. And there would even be topics that would be in my mind that I knew I wanted to talk about, but I didn't feel qualified to talk about them. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and stay in my little bubble. Stay to what I know. Stick to fashion. That's what you do. Nobody want to hear you yap about
that imposter syndrome.
Yeah, yeah. I just felt like I wasn't the person to talk about it. And the thing that was so interesting is that I was negating all of the things that was showing me otherwise. Like all of the success that I was seeing with my platforms, even helping other people here and there, not officially yet, but helping other people here and there, I started to see, no, I really do this. But I felt like I couldn't really explain why I was good at it, or I didn't have the certification to say, oh yeah, you got your degree in this and you do this, for it to all make sense. So I fought it for a long time. But then after a while, I had to really just accept it. But I accepted it like little by little. It wasn't in a full blown, like, you know what, let me just go ahead and bring it in. We're going to do all of it now. But I started to like do little things like take on people within the group coaching program as my clients. So they were like my starter clients. And so it felt like a safe space to experiment because they know me, they trust me already, I know that they like me. And so I felt like I could just like be in a space where I could practice. And the more people I started to help, the more I started to see them getting success with their content. And I was like, okay, nah, it's kind of undeniable at this point. I can't even keep fighting it no more. And that helped me to really build up the confidence to put it out into the world and really like, make it what I do.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I feel like I have a similar experience to that because I remember I was doing, the podcasting to start out with, but I already had like a clothing line that I was working on. And, I was really pushing hard for the clothing line, but, if you listen carefully, people will give you feedback on what they really want. You know what I mean? Like, I would have so many people come up to me like, hey, I love that last episode that you did, I'm enjoying this. I'm like, really? I didn't even know, like, the people were listening like that. But,
wow.
There's an ear for that. And then from my standpoint, I've been up in the pulpit and, I don't think I'll ever leave the pulpit alone, but what I will say is this feels even more natural to me.
Really?
This right here. I love connecting with guests. I love networking. I love getting others to know about what's going on with folks. And, maybe some connections will come from that. That's what I'm hoping, that you all will check out what Jada's getting into because she's really been an inspiration for me. That's a nice segue. The first thing I want to talk about, let's get into this outfit that you got on. I believe it's called the Utada. That's OOTD. The Utada. I didn't know what Utada was before before Jada came along, but I really look forward to seeing all of the vibrant outfits that she puts out there. So
thank you.
How would you describe your style?
I would definitely say that my style is creative.
Yes.
I think my style is me. I feel like it is however I'm feeling in that day. I feel like it shows the different aspects of my personality and just things that I want to put out there. I feel like it also gets a little rebellious by nature, like especially if it's like something that you're not supposed to wear one way, but I want to wear it that way. I'm gonna figure out how to do it because that's what I want and that's what's in my head. And then it's also colorful. Like as you can see, like I love orange is my favorite color. It's also my brand colors because it represents like the creativity, the creative energy.
It's my favorite color too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
Ever since the Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo was my favorite Ninja Turtle way back in the day. Orange has always been my favorite color.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I love. Oh, that's why we good. That's why people who love orange, they get it. So that's how I would. That's how I would describe it.
I would say bold as well.
Thank you.
Bold.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So show them what you got going on here. Show them what you got going on here. We go right into this camera.
Let's get into. First of all, let's get into this necklace, y'all. This necklace is
fire.
Custom made by me. I got these watches from the thrift store and I took the bands off and I connected them to a chain. I saw this idea on Pinterest and I was like, gotta do it.
That's
gotta
fire.
have it. This is my favorite blazer, okay? It's orange, obviously, but I added these little puffs to it and I cropped it because I like stuff. Like I told you, I'm a little rebellious by nature. So I like a blazer, but the blazer gotta be doing something a little different.
And you do all these alterations, right?
Yeah. I did this on live. I did this on live on TikTok. And then this is actually a set that I got from Express. And then my shoes are Harry Potter. On Vans, yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. So, we said we were going to get into getting unshy. What do you mean when you say getting unshy, and what is the importance of that?
Oh, so getting unshy is this theory that I have, and it is that nobody's really shy. I think that we are wounded, and I realized.
Trigger warning.
I'm sorry.
Trigger warning.
I know you just said so.
Trigger warning.
I said so casually, but I started to realize that people, including myself at one point, was taking on this title of being shy. But when I looked up shy, I looked up the definition of it and it had words like like shameful and like wanting to hide, timid. And I'm like, I don't want to be none of that stuff. Like, how did we just make this something that we're okay with being? And when you look it up, even in scripture does not support the concept of being shy. Like we were not given the spirit of timidity. No. And so when I looked at it, I was like, bro, this is a whole counterfeit identity. And it made me wonder, what have I been not doing in the name of being shy? Right. And so when I started to unpack it and really like unravel all the layers that made this counterfeit identity, I started to say, wow, I am actually more comfortable speaking than I let on. Yeah. I do actually have more creativity in terms of what I want to wear and how I want to dress, but I feel like I've still been playing it safe. And I started to realize that the more conversation that I had with people who also were calling themselves shy, I was like, you're not really shy. Right. Something happened to you that made you feel like you shouldn't speak up. Your voice doesn't deserve to be heard. You're not qualified to do this. And there's so many different things that people really want to do.
Wow, she's spitting right now. Go ahead.
That you're not doing because you already counted yourself out. And one thing that I find interesting is that the desire is in your heart for a reason. And for you to deny it because you don't believe that you're worthy of it, but it's in your heart, it's there because it's meant for you to put it into the world. And so I started to see how I wasn't even allowing myself to be as creative and as like boundary pushing as I wanted to be. But most importantly, and this is the thing that made me feel the most convicted, was that there was things that I was not saying that I knew I needed to say because I could feel it. There's like this sensation that I feel, and I feel like I told you about this before. There's like this sensation that I feel in my chest. It's like my chest feels like really hot, like it's like fire.
Fire in the bones.
Yes, it feels like fire. And it's like if I don't say it, I know that I know I'm being disobedient then. Like that's immediately I can tell because it's in there because it has to come out. I have to say it, I have to share it. And so I started to see, okay, this is happening with me. What does this look like in other people? And then what does it look like for me to put this out and share this idea with people and see how they respond? And it ended up being so many people that just, I believe, because I obviously can't have conversations with all of them, but I believe that the people who see it and resonate with it and commented on it and said, I'm not really shy, I feel like that was just like a breakthrough moment for them too. Because they're like, wait a minute. I'm not shy. I did this. Why don't I feel confident enough to talk about it? Why don't I feel courageous enough to do this? Why don't I feel like I'm qualified enough to go for that dream that I've had since I was a little girl? And so I started to see, wow, this is like freeing people. This is giving people the freedom and the space to be who they were always designed to be. And so I have this book. It's called Getting Unshy, and it is a workbook. It is a personal branding workbook. I'll put it out there like on the surface of what it is. But when you really get into this book helps you to own your identity. It helps you to release the creativity that's shut up inside of you because you're calling yourself shy. You're afraid to be bold and courageous about who you really are. But most importantly, you've accepted an identity that is not yours. I call it the counterfeit identity. And in the book, I talk about that. There's like a whole like assessment.
So did you put this together, all by yourself, or, how did this come together?
I designed the book. My mom helped me to design the cover and to get it published because I didn't know what I was doing. She helped me to format it too. Okay. But I did all of this in Canva. So between Canva and Google Docs.
That's a good resource.
It is. It's helped me to release not only this book, but it's also helped me to release my style journal as well. Okay. So I love Canva. I love being able to design it myself. And I felt like if I didn't go that route, it wasn't going to get out. Okay. Actually, I don't think I've ever talked about this. I haven't talked about this in a while, but even just like the creation of this workbook was very challenging for me to get it out. So this book, I started writing this in like 2021. Okay. I didn't release this until 2023, I think. And I had to take a break writing the book because I started writing it because I felt like I was supposed to write a book. I just didn't know what the book was going to be about. So I started writing the book. I knew it was going to be for creatives. And then I got to a point, maybe around like chapter 3 I think maybe like chapter 4, close chapter 4. And I was like, I can't finish this. I don't have the experience that I need yet to finish this. And I didn't know what the experience was, but I just knew I need to put this down for a second because the rest of this book is not coming to me. And so when
There's a word in that somewhere.
It is.
There's a word in that somewhere. Some of us, we need to know. We need to know, like, it's okay to take a pause. It's okay to take a pause. You know, everything's going to happen in divine timing. We don't always have to have all the answers, but, you know, when we're trusting the process, it's all going to work out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt peace with it too, which is different because you know how you feel. Sometimes you'll feel a block, you'll perceive it to be a block, but you want to kind of push through it. You're like, oh, it just means I gotta just like buckle down, and I gotta do this, and I gotta make sure I sit down, lock myself up in this office until I get it done. And sometimes the consistency is what you need, but so many more times, especially if you feel the block, like you feel like you're just like making up stuff, that it is really, no, I need to take a break from this. Like I'm not blocked. It's just time to check in and see what's the next move, like what's the next direction. And that was the insight that I got. It's like I need to do some more before I can finish this. Like this, I will get back to this. I don't know when, but right now is not the time to finish this. And when I came back to the book, it was actually after I had a viral video. And I was talking about, actually it wasn't viral, that's the funny part, it wasn't viral, but it had a lot of engagement. And I was saying, are you shy or are you wounded? That was the question that I asked.
People weren't feeling that, or how'd that go?
It went surprisingly well.
Okay.
It went surprisingly well. I was prepared for people to tussle because people love to fight.
Yes.
When you start rubbing up against their insecurities and stuff. But people are like, oh my God, you're right. Like, I'm really not shy because when I was a kid, I used to do this, and this, or I got this and I've done this and I've had this experience. But I had people who told me you shouldn't talk because nobody wants to hear what you have to say, or you're not good enough to talk about this. And maybe not in those exact words, but that's the way that they interpreted those experiences. And it became something where it's like, no, I'm not really shy. Like something hurt me.
Yeah.
Something happened that hurt my pride. It hurt my creativity. It was a dent in my identity. And I've been holding on to this, and it's been stopping me from doing what I really want to do. And so when people started responding to it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Like let's do this, y'all. And so I ended up finishing Getting Unshy, and it all made sense. It was like, oh, this is not just like a book for creatives. This is a book that helps people to really step into their creativity, own their creativity, understand who they are, forgive, release, let go of the things that's not serving them so that they can go and do what they were supposed to do in the first place.
Let me do this. I've got to say this. I've mentioned before that, what Jada has done has really been an inspiration to me. But I don't know how you're going to take this, but when I hear you do some of the content, I feel like I'm personally attacked. I feel like I'm personally attacked. It's like, it's so much in my email that I feel like she goes and she looks at my page, she sees everything that I got going on wrong, and she makes content on it. Like, have you ever been that person who wants to play music loud in the background and still try to talk on TikToks? Yeah, that was the one that you got me on. That was the one you got me on.
Oh,
and it was like, just do a voiceover, you don't have to do all that, and it's really distracting. I'm gonna tell you, I'm an extremely accountable person, so I don't really take offense to it, but and the way that she says it's in a pleasant manner, but as I go through my filter, I feel like she's saying it like the guy from the Everest College commercials, like, look at you, you're sitting on your couch, you're doing nothing with your life. Get off the couch. Get in the game. Do it now. It's time for you to roll like, that's how I take it when she says that. So, but you got to be accountable, and that's one of the things I appreciate about you. I'm sure you have a number of stories that, people who have, locked in with you that have made tremendous strides. Like, are there any examples of that just come to mind?
Yeah, the first person that comes to my mind is Kayla. Her name is Kayla the Angel on all her social platforms, and she is just like a ray of sunshine. So she calls herself a joy influencer, but when we met on one of my TikTok lives.
Okay.
And on that live, I was doing audits of people's pages, and I was doing some Q&A. And so she came in, she asked me a question about her content, and it was basically along the lines of like, what do you think about my page? And so I went through her page and I was looking at her content, and so she was doing her outfit of the day, getting ready for work. She didn't call them mooses because she didn't know me yet.
Right.
She was doing her outfit, getting ready for work, and she did a lot of the things that I remember doing when I first got started, where it was like a lot of trending audio, not a lot of talking, but there was something about her that was just so magnetic and attractive, and I was like, why don't you talk more in your content? Because if you talk more, I can actually get to know you. I want to know about you. I want to know about this job that you got. I want to know about what you're doing. Like, I'm curious about you. And so from that conversation, she went on to actually get the Getting Unshy workbook first, and she did it. She worked through it and made content doing it, which made me cry every time. I was like, oh my gosh, she's doing it. And so with each step though, she went from doing the workbook to working with me inside of a group program I have called the Getting Unshy Collective, which helps to do some deeper work that's inside of the workbook. And from there, she went from making the content where she was doing the trending audio and just not really talking to making talking content easily, like this. She's created her own brand of content, and she just goes through that and iterates that in different ways. She ended up getting to over 1,000 followers on TikTok, and that was something that was a goal that she had for a while. And she also, which makes me the most proud, is she launched her affirmation guide called the Off the Page Affirmations.
Okay.
Talking to her, affirmations is one of the things that she always did well, but I felt like she didn't realize that no, this is good. You should really talk about your affirmations more. And I was able to help her to see how the way that she does it, it shows you the transformation that comes from doing it. Even if it's not the biggest thing, I was literally watching her, because she would share them with me before I even told her this. She would share them with me in the mornings. And so I would watch her write an affirmation and then go and do the thing that she affirmed herself in. And every time she was challenging herself to do more.
Power
and
of
get
spoken
better.
word, man. Absolutely.
And she actually is the reason why I believe in affirmations now, which I was like, if that's not anything else, I'm your success story, because I just didn't feel I felt like it was just fluff and words. And so watching her, I was able to see the power of them. And I'm like, that's powerful. That's something there. And it was something that she had thought about, but she just never really pursued it. And so after going through the collective, she launched it, she put it out there. She has grown her YouTube channel now. She goes live on YouTube, which before was one of her biggest fears. So I'm just watching her continue to challenge herself to keep growing. More and more people are recognizing her for it. And so when I think about getting unshy, I tell her all the time, when I think about getting unshy, I think about Kayla, because she literally just walked through each step. And where she is now compared to where she was a year ago, a year and some change, is phenomenal. So
okay, well, shout out to Kayla, and that sounds like something I'd like to check out, those affirmations. So yeah. I'll get with you about that. Keep up the good work. One of the things that I think as people continue to grow and they extend, especially on social media, I wonder, how do you handle the haters, those in the comment section, and how do you kind of drown out the noise when you get some pushback on something that you've said or done?
Okay, so you may not believe me when I say this, but I have received way more positivity than negativity when it comes to social media. But when I started to notice that there were some people that was coming around, and I was like, okay, now wait a minute, you're not gonna just play in my face like this. That was when I went viral on TikTok. And so I've been making content for years prior to TikTok even being a thing. But TikTok was a platform where I really felt like my efforts were being noticed. Like, it's where my visibility started to really grow. Yeah. And so my first time going viral was on TikTok. And so I had this video, it was going viral, I was getting all like hundreds of thousands of views, thousands of comments. And now I'm going through these comments and there's people saying some stuff, and I'm like, you must not know me. Like, what? Who are you? Like, who are you talking to? And so I'm looking through it, and I'm noticing there was like one in particular that I had my phone propped up, and I was ready to let her know exactly how I felt about what she said. I was really ready to read her rights. And so every time I recorded the video, it would be like that sound, like on TikTok, like shut it down.
Yep.
Shut it down. It's like every time I recorded, I was like, I can't post this. And what I realized is that sometimes the things that I say is gonna rub up against people's insecurities. It's gonna trigger some people. And I can't always take that on, because what it really is a projection, and it has nothing to do with me. And so being able to recognize that, and to an extent almost empathize with it, because I get how it feels, even though that may not be the response that I would choose to make. I had to learn that's just the kind of content that I make. And so I was tempted though to retreat.
Yeah.
I really didn't want, I was like, I don't want to say nothing else that's going to get this kind of response. I don't need any of this. But I had a talk with that
just
same
crawl
mentor.
Crawl back into the hole.
Yeah, like let me go on back to the 4 or 5 people that was rocking with me, because y'all tripping. And so I had a talk with my mentor. Actually, I told her, I was like, I'm going viral and all these people are saying crazy stuff about me and I don't know what to do. And she was like, girl, just get off the internet. Like they're fine. They're triggered. It's fine. You're gonna be okay. You gotta like. She basically told me, you're gonna have to get a thicker skin.
Yeah. And
so from that experience, I did put the phone down. I got off. I was like, let me just take a break. I don't need to read every comment that comes through, and I definitely don't need to respond to every comment. And so I put it down, and from that point, I have had other videos that have gone viral. And what I've learned to do is I let people tussle. Like, I just don't have to respond to it. And so I let them have their conversations. There's a couple of videos you can see where people are saying the wildest things. And I'm like, that is not my problem. This is your comment section now. It's not mine. I only really go in and maybe delete comments if I feel like it would be too disruptive or offensive to my community. But outside of that, you don't like what I said, it's not my business. I don't have to worry about that. And so I've learned to just like let that kind of roll off my back. There have been a few times though where I did like sort of a clap back.
Yeah. I mean, a little video response, a little series.
Yeah,
there,
you said it. Now I get to make content with it.
Listen,
and make it lighthearted.
Everything's cool until we got time. Now when we got time, I don't know what to tell you. So
and I'm not using my thumbs. I'm using my voice. Okay. So that's how I've navigated it.
I'm not really surprised at all that you've had like mostly positive feedback, because one of the things that I really appreciate about you is you're very thoughtful in what you put out. You've done your research and you're very thoughtful in it. So, when I go through my filter, and even though I might be feeling some type of way because, you hit close to home, it's like she's speaking facts. She's speaking facts. And that's when I would not be sending you all her way if, she was just out here, clickbaiting or, saying some polarizing issues just to get a response. No, she's really done her research. I've been on live with her where, she's talked about like there's actually physiological as well as psychological things that come into play when you're unshy, and vice versa. It's like a vicious cycle. So how people say like your first win of the day could be like making a bed in the morning or something along those lines. But all of those things that you do when you start getting in the habit, into those good habits, or when you press through, what I'm saying, like some days you may not feel like getting all jazzed up, but when you press through, I know for me, like I feel better once I get a haircut. You know what I'm saying? Like my morale goes up. Like I feel like 50%. As soon as I get a haircut, I'm like, okay, You know what? Everything's not so bad. All right, I know what I need to do. Sometimes you might just be hungry, just like those Snickers commercials.
No. There's a lot of times I'm hungry.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, being able to take that inventory and especially as you've mentioned before, like it's biblical for us to, you know, let our light shine.
Yeah.
For us to like get that word out, for us to be that salt into the world. So I really appreciate, you know, how you present it. Can I dive a little bit deeper real quick?
Go ahead.
Okay, so you know, I was thinking about this fashion and stuff like that. Are you single?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So like, do you find that like people, you know, guys are maybe like a little intimidated because, you know, of your fashion? Do you kind of get the sense that has been like something that's been like intimidating for them?
I guess so. I don't know that it's always voiced as intimidation, but it does feel like I have certain people that will approach me almost regardless, like the hotel guys.
My sister.
Yeah, like no, they don't care. They
My
see the
sweet Nubian
they
princess.
see the locks and they're like, I love it all.
Yes.
And then even like depending on how I'm dressed, I'll get a different response. Like I feel like certain things, like especially if I'm like, you know, going out with, you know, my sister or my friends, and maybe, you know, going to a bar or a club
you do
or something.
switch up the styles.
Yeah.
You switch it up.
It switches. Yeah, it gets a little different. So
I remember the cowgirl Carter phase, and you know what I'm saying. I've seen like, you know, a couple switch ups.
Yeah, I like, you gotta keep it fun. Yeah. So depending on what I wear, I will. But I do enjoy that even if it's not them coming up to me to, you know, ask for my number. I love when they give me compliments. They're like, you know, oh, that's so dope. Like, absolutely. I really like that outfit, or I like that piece. Like, where'd you get that from? So it just kind of depends. But I think for the most part, people still approach me. But I do know there's some people that's like, told me I look real serious, or like professional, like, you know, I got to step to her correct, so they may or may not take that on.
I mean, some people, you know, they may think already like, is she like movie star or something? Like, you know, like she's like the confidence and, you know, the level of boldness that you have is, I would say, uncommon. And you know, I think that's it's a great quality. It's inspiring, like a little ray of sunshine. You know what I'm saying? Like I really appreciate fashion a lot more now as I've matured a little bit than, you know, when I was younger. So I could just see like that being, but that's not your problem. If you know what I'm saying, like there's individuals who, you know, are shook or something like that.
Yeah.
And probably makes your life a little bit easier in some cases, you know what I'm saying? Like keep some of them, you know, time wasters out of your hair.
Yeah, you know, lower the numbers a little bit.
Yeah. I know that's right. So let me ask you, and we're wrapping up, where do you see yourself in like maybe the next 3 to 5 years? Where do you see like this content, you know, taking you?
TV, y'all. Okay. I don't be on somebody's TV doing something. So I feel like it's gonna either be, or maybe not either. Maybe it'll be both. It would be dope if it was both. But I see myself having something like a talk show kind of thing. And then I also want to have a reality TV show, but not like a Real Housewives situation, but more like a competition show.
Love Island type.
No. Look. Some of these, I think that's like one of my biggest concerns, is that I would have to compromise for the sake of, you know, what sells. But I'm hoping that I don't have to do that. But I want to have something like that. And then a third one that I just remembered is I do want to have something like a documentary or like a docuseries. I feel like I love when you can bring people who aren't necessarily actors or people who want to be on media, but they have an important story to share. Mm-hmm. I love being able to give them a platform. And so that's what draws me to reality TV and in shows like talk shows, that it's just like regular people, you know, going through life, experiencing things, which I think is really cool and brave because they're willing to do it on camera in front of millions of people. And so I want to be able to have something like that. So that's where I see my content going, or taking me rather. And that's why now I put so much care and intentionality to what I develop, because I know that it's going to go further than, a TikTok. So
I think, that would be pretty cool to see someone like getting unshy or coming out of their shell or experiencing like a glow up in real time.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's this show. Have you heard of this show called Put a Ring on It?
No.
Man, it is such.
I'm out of the loop. I ain't even go.
So this one's not one of the more popular ones.
Okay.
It's actually one of the lesser known ones. It was on Oprah's network, and the premise of the show is there are three couples that go on this show, and they are on this show to either separate, like to disconnect, or to put a ring on it, like get married. So they're couples that have been together for a long time, like a long amount of years.
Kind of like ultimatum.
Ultimatum.
Kind of.
Ultimatum.
Kind of.
I believe that Ultimatum stole the premise, because they came out after Put a Ring on It.
Okay, that's
not facts, but that's my feelings.
Listen. Okay? The views and opinions expressed here on the Think Tank podcast, I'm just joking. Like, nah, that's cool. No.
I believe they did. And the reason why I say that too,
especially since you said, one of them was like on OWN, right?
Yeah.
And then I know this was on Netflix or something.
Yep.
So, I mean,
the Love, the pod people, so I call it the Other Love show they got. But the show, what I loved about the show, not Ultimatum, because I feel like Ultimatum, like, just made it, I don't know what they just made it something that was not there anymore. And so what I liked about the show is that you got to watch them work through their relationship issues and really confront what's going on instead of just sweeping things under the rug.
Yeah.
And the host of the show was an actual therapist.
Okay.
She was a counselor, black woman, amazing black woman.
It wasn't Ayana? Was it Ayana?
No. It was somebody else. Is
that another topic? Is that another topic?
You're bringing up a lot of stuff. I got strong opinions on.
Oh my goodness. So I saw Ultimatum. So they get a little bit messy. You're like, you get to date the entire rest of the cast and decide if you want to spend a couple weeks with. They don't do that on like.
No, they go on dates.
They go on dates.
Okay. Both parties go on dates.
Yes.
But the dates are above board, and they're meant to gather data. So they go.
You just slid that. What does above board mean? What is?
Like, they're not. No one's going home with nobody.
Okay.
Like, it's not. Yeah.
You gotta make it plain. Make it plain for the Saints.
Nobody's sleeping with nobody on this show. With the Saints. They're very still much in their relationship.
Set above board. Okay.
Yeah. Nah. I don't know what they're doing in Ultimatum. Like, it's something else. But yeah, like, they go on the dates, and the dates are meant to show them what they like, and so she picks the dates for them, and she does it based off of the things that they may be feeling like they're not getting from their partners. And so it's meant for them to see, okay, what is this experience like if I have a man who is better at expressing his feelings, or if I have somebody who is more ambitious than I feel like my person is. And so by the end of it, they are meant to.
See, I'm sorry, I hate to do this. See, you just touched on something. Because, some of y'all ladies, y'all got this thing where y'all looking for an expressive dude, right? And then that expressive dude comes along, and you're like, it's too much. It's too much. So, nah. That's the first thing I thought of. So I could see that being an example of like how that plays out. Like, you know what, maybe I don't really need all that sensitive. Maybe
a lot of times they do realize it's like this was nice, this was fun. But what's cool about it is that seeing your partner go on these dates and then listening to them recap the date, because they also recap the dates. Okay. So like they talk about it with each other. And so
that is cool. Okay.
They talk about it was just very healthy and cool to me to see it how it all played out. And so
that's why it wasn't that popular, because it sounded too healthy.
It was, and that's what
makes
me. It was so wholesome.
Yeah.
And they soiled it on Ultimatum. I was astonished when I saw it.
Okay.
But I brought that up because I loved the development of the people in the show, and whether they ended up being together or not. She always says like, whether you're together or not is great. Right. Whatever you choose to do is a great thing. All I want you to do is leave here making a decision to either stay together or to go your separate ways. And so
you preaching right now, because I mean, isn't the goal should be growth? Yeah, that should be the goal. Yeah, growth. You know what I'm saying? It's not about like one-upsmanship. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, upgrading per se. It's not about upgrading per se, because you know, when you are in something healthy, and I'm just going basically off of, you know, what I've heard from people on social media. This is what I heard. You know, but when you are with, you know, in something that's healthy, it's going to maybe expose some things about yourself. Yeah. And it's on you to be accountable to take it or leave it, grow from it, or, you know, have that sort of accountability. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that, honestly. And I even think like even the term like upgrading, I feel like we use it, and I don't think that we really realize how that might make somebody feel. It's like you're talking about a person, right. You know, like if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. But I feel like I just personally don't feel as comfortable using that language when a relationship dissolves. You know, like right. I don't like. Maybe it'll make you feel good, you know, to say that, you know, I upgraded and I got me a better model.
We're not talking about like some supersized fries from McDonald's.
Right. We're not, you're right. We're talking about like it's technology, you know, like this is a person.
You know, one person's trash is another's treasure. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't just like throw the baby out with the bathwater. We have to, you know, like, but that takes a certain level of like emotional intelligence to realize like, you know, you could be a great person, you just may not be my person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know what? I'll take it a step further. I want you to find that person. Yes. Because I care. Yes. How about that?
Period. Like, I really want you to be happy.
That's real healthy.
That's it. Yeah. So I would love to have a show that does that. Okay. I would love for that, my getting unshy version of Put a Ring on It. And I want people to be able to see the growth and the development of an individual, and seeing what they're willing to do and how they challenge themselves and how they've grown. So I like the idea of pairing those two worlds together.
I love it. That would be something that I look forward to. Yeah. You know, you already know I'm down. I'm Team Jada, so you know, I look forward to seeing how this thing just continues to grow, the movement. I see you doing great things in the future. You're already doing great things. You know, y'all make sure to check her out. Matter of fact, tell the folks how they can follow you on social media.
Okay, so y'all can follow me everywhere except for Twitter, because Twitter is a cesspool.
Oh my, here we go again. Here we go again.
It is. I'm on there, but you don't. I haven't posted on there since like 2023. Okay. But you can find me everywhere, major platforms at It's Jada West.
Okay. Simple enough. So that's IG.
Yep. TikTok, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. Okay. Yep. Threads. Wow. Okay. I'm on my Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky, but I'm on Blue Sky. Snapchat. I'm on everything.
You know, I got on that Lemonade for like a hot second, you know, yes. when the great scare of, you know, TikTok. So, I don't know. You know which one we need to get on?
What's that?
What's the one with Isaac Hayes?
Oh, we gotta talk about that.
You got something.
We gotta talk about that. I'm on it.
You on it?
I was on it for a long time. I was on it when fan base. You're talking about fan base.
Fan base.
I was on it a while ago, because I heard about it. It's been around for a while.
Well, we'll talk about that offline, but you know, we'll talk about that.
No, when I say I'm on everything,
funny.
I am on everything.
You are funny, friend. You are really just. I'm gonna get at my brother like that, but yeah, okay, yeah. I feel you on that. Well, anyway, this has been fun. Y'all make sure to check out Jada. I'm so glad to be back, y'all. Look forward to new episodes coming soon. I got a lot to get off my chest, so this next episode might be a solo episode because I need to get on my soapbox real quick. There's been a lot going on. I appreciate those who've been rocking with me throughout, and yo, stay tuned. Great things are coming. But for now, this is Randy Hayes from the Think Tank Podcast, signing off. Love y'all.